Hey guys, it's Carl here from Gaming Till Disconnected, and today I will be bringing you a review of the Cube Blizzard custom PC. The Blizzard Watercooled Gaming series is an attractive mid-tier custom PC, currently priced at around £1,100. It's created by custom PC service Cube, owned by Box.co.uk. In the interests of full disclosure, I must mention that some of our content is sponsored by Box.co.uk. This will not, however, have any impact on the outcome and objectivity of this review. To make sure there is absolutely no conflict of interest, Box.co.uk will also not be sponsoring this specific video. Anyway, let's get on with the review. Cube made the decision to house the Blizzard inside a Fractal design Define R4 Arctic White Edition case. With a glossy white finish and a clear window in its side panel, it is without a doubt a very attractive case. With all the components, the case weighs roughly 17.5 kilograms. Due to 4 feet at the bottom of it, the Blizzard stands above your desk with a clearance of 15mm. The front of the case has a very clean appearance, owed to a swing door which is padded on the inside to reduce noise coming out of the case, and is conveniently held in place by magnets. A downside to this swing door is that all the ventilation is on the sides of the front cover, meaning the front fan has to work a little bit harder in order to draw air into the case. This glossy front is almost entirely plain, with the exception of Cube and Intel stickers at the bottom. This is the only Cube branding I could find, and I think it complements the simple appearance very well. The Intel sticker doesn't really fit with the colour scheme, but removing it wouldn't be a very tricky task. Behind this front door you will find an optical DVD drive, as well as an unused 5.25-inch bay. Just next to the DVD drive is the fan control that gives you 3 different settings. Just underneath the 5.25-inch bays, you will find 2 spots for either 120 or 140mm fans, which can be mounted behind the included dust filter. A single 140mm fan is included, set up by default as an intake. Both fans and dust filters are concealed by a vented cover, held in place by 2 push-touch latches. At the very top of the front cover you'll find the power button, surrounded by an LED ring, along with the audio ports, reset switch, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and 2 USB 2.0 ports. It's worth noting that this I/O panel is fixed to the main frame of the case, so you'll want to be careful not to damage it, should you ever want to detach the front cover. One thing which really irked me about this section of the case is the colour of the LED ring. It's a red colour, which really doesn't fit in. Moving to the top of the case, you won't really find much. There are 2 areas for either 120 or 140mm fans behind a honeycomb mesh, with 2 pads covering the ventilation holes. If you look at the underside, you'll notice that the 4 feet raising the PC off the ground have chrome rings around them. The only other things you'll notice on the bottom of the case are 2 sets of vents, one for the power supply and another for a 120 or 140mm fan. These are shielded by a dust filter, which is removable for easy cleaning. The right-hand panel of the Cube Blizzard is completely clean, matching the front of the case. On the left-hand side, however, you will find a window, allowing you to marvel at the insides of your case. Cube have also installed white LEDs on the interior of the case, which really makes your components stand out and gives the case a very cool aesthetic, in both senses of the word. This window also neatly hides the drive cages and most of the power supply unit, allowing the more attractive components to stand out. Some cables are almost certainly going to be visible, though these quickly disappear into the rubber grommets to go behind the motherboard tray. Finally, at the rear of the case you will find the usual cutouts for the I/O ports and PSU, expansion slots, and vents. Given that the Blizzard comes with an MSI Z97S SLI Krait Edition motherboard, there are also DVI, HDMI, and VGA outputs on the motherboard. In terms of output from the MSI Geforce GTX 960 graphics card, the 3 display ports and the HDMI ports are capable of outputting a maximum resolution of 4096 and 2160 at varying refresh rates. The interior of the Cube Blizzard is very nicely colour coordinated with a black and white colour scheme. Cube have even gone as far as to use white braided cables to make everything match. Removing the left hand panel will reveal hard drive cages, plus 2 strips of the white LEDs we mentioned earlier. In addition to the case lights, the NZXT Kraken X41's pump has its own light, which can be customised to a wide variety of colours. My first instinct was to make it white in order to match the rest of the case. Unfortunately, this white light had a weird green hue to it, meaning it didn't fit in with the theme of the case. Trying to set it to a different colour was futile as well. The lights inside the Cube Blizzard overpowered those of the water pump. My final solution was to simply turn the light off. Removing the right hand panel will give you access to the other side of the case, right behind the motherboard tray. Here you can access the ports for the hard drives, though it's important to remember that 3 of the 6 SATA ports have been used up by the current hard drives and optical drive. People who care about neatness inside their PCs will be pleased to note that Cube have routed and tidied all of the cables, so everything looks incredibly organised. The Cube Blizzard sports an Intel i5-4690K Haswell refresh CPU, which has a 6MB cache and comes pre-overclocked by Cube to 4.6 GHz. With light usage such as watching YouTube videos and word processing, we were getting CPU temperatures of around 27 to 30 degrees Celsius. In games the CPU still only reached around 58 degrees Celsius, showing that the cooler was definitely doing its job. With the NZXT Kraken X41 comes some software called CAM or CAM. This allows you to customize the lighting color on the pump and set fan speeds. This can be done either manually, by setting temperature parameters, or by selecting one of the predefined profiles, silent or performance. For all of our results, we use the silent profile. Just next to the NZXT Kraken X41, you will find 8GB of HyperX Fury RAM, which is white to match the overall theme of the Cube Blizzard. The MSI Z97S SLI Krait Edition motherboard and limited edition MSI GTX 960 graphics cards are also in black and white. Just like the MSI Geforce GTX 980 Gaming 4G we reviewed a little while ago, the fans of the MSI Geforce GTX 960 included with the Cube Blizzard by default won't start spinning until the GPU reaches around 50 degrees Celsius, though you can use the MSI Afterburner software to either manually set the fan speeds or define parameters for when the fans should run. In terms of included storage, Cube have installed a 120GB HyperX 3K SSD, which is used as the boot drive. For the bulk of your storage needs, Cube also included a 2TB Seagate solid-state hybrid drive, which lets you keep all your games and general files without worrying about storage space. All of this is powered by a Superflower Leadex Gold 650W power supply, which comes in white with black accents. When using the Cube Blizzard for everyday tasks such as browsing the web, watching films, working with Microsoft Office and writing emails, the Cube Blizzard had absolutely no trouble handling anything I threw at it. At any given time I would have a couple of documents, a spreadsheet and a dozen or so tabs open on a browser, while at the same time playing music, and I never noticed any kind of lag or drop in performance. We used the Cube Blizzard with the LG 34UC97 curved ultrawide monitor we recently reviewed, which has a native resolution of 3440 by 1440. Even when powering nearly 5 million pixels, the Cube Blizzard showed no signs of stress. I played BioShock Infinite and Shadow of Mordor at length on high and medium graphics settings, and the experience I received was more than satisfactory. When I switched Shadow of Mordor to Ultra settings however, I could definitely notice the drop in frame rate. It didn't make it completely unplayable, but it didn't take long for me to get frustrated at the amount of frames I was losing. Although some of our test games performed reasonably on medium and lower graphics settings at 3440 and 1440 resolution, a 1080p resolution would be a much better match, at least when it comes to gaming with newer AAA titles and some of the more demanding games from a few years ago. With games like BioShock Infinite however, you will be more than fine playing at higher resolutions. If the performance still isn't good enough for you, it would be possible to add a second GTX 960 to the Cube Blizzard. The 650W PSU should have no trouble at all with powering it. Despite its pretty good performance, the Cube Blizzard is fairly quiet, especially in comparison to our two editing machines. Although this is somewhat expected, given that this is a mid-tier PC, the insulation of the case combined with the fans that have been tuned to run very quietly definitely helps a lot. After using the Cube Blizzard for a few weeks, I can't say I'm in the least bit disappointed, and as long as you have realistic expectations, I don't think anyone else would be either. It's important to bear in mind that this is a mid-tier PC, and gives the sort of performance you would expect from a computer in that category. From an aesthetic standpoint, the Cube Blizzard is a very good looking PC. Glossy surfaces have never really been my favourite, since they are massive fingerprint magnets, though they can look really nice. The glossy white surface should also make any kind of dust build-up almost invisible, which is great because, let's face it, nobody wants to be dusting their PC. I can imagine people wanting to keep this on their desk to show off, rather than hiding it away. The Blizzard's current price of £1,099.99 may seem like a lot of money, and could definitely put off those who are used to making their own PCs with the same kind of performance for less money. The advantage, however, is that you don't have to go through the process of building the PC, installing the operating system, and overclocking it. For a lot of people this will definitely be worth the money. Another advantage of having the PC built for you is that it has been fully tested before it gets sent out to you, meaning you're far less likely to run into any kind of problems. One final point is that it could be very difficult for someone to build a custom PC which has this level of coherence in its colour scheme, since the graphics card is a limited edition. The whole thing fits together incredibly well for a custom PC. The Cube Blizzard is a well-built, good-looking mid-tier PC which is unlikely to let down anyone with realistic expectations. It's not going to be an absolute powerhouse, but people with a passion for great-looking computers who like to play games at fairly high settings are unlikely to be disappointed. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you like this review, then please give it a like and share it if you think someone else will find it useful. It really helps us out and we're always very grateful. If you'd like to learn more about the Cube Blizzard, you can head over to our website gamingtilldisconnected.com, which goes into even deeper detail and has more benchmarks. If you enjoy our content, then please subscribe and be sure to change your subscription preference to be notified when we upload a video. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Google+. If you're interested in the Cube Blizzard, we've left the link where you can buy it in the description below. Once again, thank you for watching and, as always, have a great day. I'll see you next time.